What's up guys, JB2017 here, and today I am very excited to bring you exclusive gameplay from Edge of Nowhere, an upcoming VR title for the Oculus Rift. I was fortunate enough to visit Insomniac Games this past weekend to get a first-hand look at the game and share it with you all today. First, I'm going to share a bit of information about the game, and then I'll dive into my personal thoughts and impressions. Edge of Nowhere is a VR third-person action-adventure from acclaimed independent developer Insomniac Games, where players will follow the trail of a missing expedition that leads across the treacherous mountains of Antarctica. Players will scale massive ice walls and travel deep into alien caves in this unsettling psychological thriller. In Edge of Nowhere, nothing is what it seems, and the unexpected lurks from all sides. As far as the storyline goes, Victor Howard is searching for his fiancée, Ava Thorne, who is part of a lost expedition in Antarctica. His rescue mission takes a sudden turn as he ventures deeper into a dark, monstrous world where reality warps and twists around him. Desperate to find the one he loves, Victor must encounter disturbing creatures and climb sheer cliff walls as he descends further into madness. In Edge of Nowhere, you'll explore the mysterious Antarctic and experience Lovecraftian-esque horror. You'll need to use your wits to escape dark caverns and the dangers that await you in the cold and inside your own mind. Some key features are that you'll scale vast ice walls and explore the treacherous mountains of Antarctica. You'll need to use weapons and your wits to survive the uncanny horrors that haunt dark caverns. You'll need to cling to your sanity in a surreal world where nothing is as it seems. And the game is specifically designed for VR, so you'll experience a huge sense of scale from vertigo-inducing cliffs to towering giants. So I thought the press release that Insomniac gave me was a pretty good way to summarize exactly what this game is. And before we get into my thoughts and experiences, I want to point out that this was my very first experience with any kind of VR title, and it was on the Oculus Rift. And I gotta say, guys, this experience was mind-blowing. It was eye-opening, and I had no idea what VR actually was or what the experience was like, and it was uncharted territory. The last time that I felt like this was probably playing around with the Wiimote, and I know that sounds weird. You know, you may be thinking, I'm a core gamer, I never played the Wii, I'm not even interested in something that even has anything to do with motion or anything like that, and personally, I am also a core gamer, but once I experienced VR, it changed my perspective. This is the forefront, this is the future, guys. Before I got to play Edge of Nowhere, I was briefed by Ted Price and some of the creative directors on the game on exactly how you play this game. And this is unique to a lot of VR titles because it is in third person. A lot of VR titles, a lot of things that are working currently on the Oculus Rift and the Vive are first person. This is unique in that it's third person, like a lot of titles that, Insomniac has already developed. The game is also designed as more of a core experience because it is still played with a controller in hand and you're sitting down at a chair. This is not something you're standing up and holding two different controllers and waving them around. That's a different kind of game, and they actually showed one of those games. I'll share that with you guys later in the week, but this is still very much a core experience. That's how the game is designed, and that's how it's supposed to be played. You may have already realized throughout this gameplay that it seems like the motion and moving around is very jarring, and that's because there's a fundamental different way that you're controlling your character, and that's literally with your head and which direction you're looking in. And it's a very unique experience. I really can't, compare it to anything else because it's unlike anything I've ever even played before. But imagine like God of War. God of War is a really good example because in that game you have no control over the camera. You're not moving it around in order to reorient yourself and get a better perspective. No. You're locked in. On rails is what I meant to say, but you are actually directing where you're looking with the position of your head. You're moving your head around, and it feels like you're in this 3D space. It's very, very unique. There were two different modes of perspective that the player would experience when controlling Victor out in the world. And the first one was just standard. He wasn't using any tools, not a gun or anything like that. And that's when he's just walking around or, scaling an ice wall like he is right here. And in this perspective, imagine that you're just a floating third-person camera, just like any other third-person game, but you've got 360 degrees of motion. You can look completely behind you, you can look below, you can look straight up, you can look anywhere around, but you're still in that fixed camera position. So I guess it is kind of like God of War in that sense, but imagine God of War and you can actually look around. The other mode of perspective, I can't really tell if this is the same thing or a little bit different. I think it was a little bit different, but when Victor is using either a flashlight or his shotgun, actually wherever you're looking is where he's aiming. And so it's almost like the center of the screen, wherever you're looking is where the crosshair would be. And it's a lot more intuitive than it sounds. So you're not controlling the crosshair with your controller, you're controlling it with the positioning of your head. I know that was a lot of technical mumbo jumbo, but I'm just trying to help you guys wrap your heads around exactly how this game controls and how it feels, because it is fundamentally different than any other game in terms of controlling that I've ever played. Now let's move into the actual substance of the game and whether this is a good experience as a video game. And as far as I can tell, it could be that my perspective is skewed because this was my first VR experience. I had an incredible blast playing this game, and it reminded me kind of a fusion of Lara Croft because of a lot of the scaling of the ice walls. That's obviously what you do in the newest, Tomb Raider reboot game. That reminded me a lot of what I do in those games. And for all intents and purposes, this is kind of a survival adventure horror game because you are in a very dangerous place and there are dangerous things after you, and they're all inspired by Lovecraftian, kind of ideas, which if you guys don't know, H.P. Lovecraft is this writer. He grew up in Rhode Island and he was really secluded, wrote some really crazy stuff and came up with Cthulhu. I'm sure somebody can do a better way of, explain that than me, but that's what a lot of the monsters and things that Victor are facing are inspired by, and they are truly creepy. And I gotta say, I played this with full volume blasting in my ears. It was incredibly immersive. I did feel very uncomfortable and very creeped out because these creatures are hanging on the walls. I don't know where they are. I think there's surround sound in the headset, so I can kind of, hear behind me. I don't know where they are, and I feel like they're coming for me. And this game also does a fantastic job of making you feel like you're helpless, like you don't have a lot of tools at your disposal. There were not very many shotgun shells in the demo that I played, in the 30 to 45 minutes that I played, but there was no shortage of rocks. Yes, I said rocks, and these are not lethal rocks. These are rocks that will either knock enemies down so you can go up and melee them with your ice pick, or actually distract enemies so you can sneak by. So in that way, it reminded me a lot of Amnesia. In that game, you don't have anything to defend yourself. In this game, you do have a little bit, but you're not like Lara Croft with a shit ton of arrows and a bunch of bullets just mowing down enemies. So again, what I believe they have here is a third-person survival horror adventure game. And what's even better is that this game has an official launch release date. It is coming out on June 6th, which is before E3, and I will have an Oculus Rift by then, so I'll get to experience the full thing and share it all with you guys here on my channel. And I do have a lot more gameplay footage saved up that I can upload of this game if you guys are interested in that before the launch comes out. Again, I played for about 30 to 45 minutes, so if you are interested in another video at sometime later this week or maybe next week, let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, remember to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it, and let me know what you guys think of Edge of Nowhere in the comment section below. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.